Da-na-na-na-na-na.
There we go. All
Yeah.
right, here we are, boys. The first inaugural podcast of the Great Western podcast. Is that the idea we're going with?
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Well, we got
Until someone takes it from us.
yeah. So someone says that I already have that one. So I'll be your host, Mark the Wizard Masurlian. Right. We're joined by
Jonathan, local contractor, but also basketball enthusiast,
basketball enthusiast. Yes.
sports
I'm
enthusiast, really.
I'm my name is David. I'm a Clipper fan, but I moved to Colorado, so I jumped on the Nuggets bandwagon.
Good point.
Savan, I moved here from France as a little kid. Didn't even know English when I heard about Kobe and Shaq teaming up. Been a Laker fan since day one, and also notorious LeBron hater.
LeBron hater. I'm also a Laker fan here. Laker fan. So guys, so for today, we're gonna kind of go over the Western Conference and Eastern Conference semifinals, the four matchups that are there. Currently, well, the Cavs are up 2-1, and we'll get started on the East Coast series. Who saw the game three in
Well, I've watched all the games
watch
actually.
all the games. Okay, so what's the take on the series? Is Haliburton the real deal or not?
It's been like no lead is safe. Really, is the huge key factor in this series. Is like at the halftime, I'm watching and one team's up by 10, and they make a run, and it's Halliburton coming down at the end of the game and hitting a game winning, what is like the game winning shot, and it's just for the first two games at least, and it's been unreal, honestly. And yeah, I guess the question is, he doesn't show up. The last game, he had 4 points, 0 rebounds, 5 assists, in, and then doesn't speak to the reporters after the game. So it's like, I don't know. You lose a lot of credibility when you go from hitting the game winner to no show.
Yeah, they lost a lot of gas. Chu, what do you think?
Uh, I think that the Sacramento Kings made a mistake
Oh,
trading Haliburton, and you have to give a lot of respect to the Indiana Pacers franchise because this team is just constantly in the playoffs, putting out a good product, giving the fans what they want, and you never know if you can put yourself in a position and there's an injury or two injuries on the team you're playing, anything can happen. And I think that's what possibly could happen with this series. I like Carlisle. He's proven coach. He's been there. Um, is it Atkinson on the Cavs? We
yep.
don't know. We don't know yet.
Unproven
But
coach, but great season.
I think the Pacers they play, you know, defensively they're pretty mediocre, but it seems like it's working for them right now. They have a lot of, they also defensively on the wing, Nemhard and yeah, they
Nees-
have a few guys that are just like,
Neesmith had
yeah,
a
Neesmith, both the
baller.
Nemhard and Neesmith are both seem to kind of get after it. Great role players. Made a move for Siakam a couple years ago, which seemed to work out. Great wing defender. This team is just solid. Like, I don't think they're going to go all the way, but I think the series is going to go seven, and I give the coaching advantage to the Pacers.
Okay.
Mm.
All
So I
right.
still give this series to the Cavs. Um, due to their bench. I feel like Pacers have a good starting five. I can't say it's a super team at all because what are we seeing that? So the question is whether Halliburton is the real deal or not. I think during the season, what we saw is the team itself, due to the good coaching, due to the role players they have. Yeah, they were a winning team in the East. Were they at the top? No. Were they at the bottom? Neither. Right. But so the question is Halliburton a star? Well, come playoffs, he has something to prove, right? And he's putting that on the table. He's bringing his team back from leads, but do they have the depth to follow through that in 7 games? I think it'll be Cavs in seven.
Wow. I mean, after losing two games at home, it would be
Yeah,
kind of a historic kind of comeback, at least, on paper, to come back and win a series. Uh,
absolutely.
Yeah, well, let's shift the conversation to then the Cavs. What do the Cavs have to prove? We got Mitchell, we got Garland, we got the Defensive Player of the Year in Evan Mobley. What's going on there? They were injured, but are they going to get it back? John, what do you think?
The Cavs have had like a historic season run. That's what they
Beautiful.
prove, that it's not just a fluke. They have to prove that they're not that same as that Warriors team that won 70 games and didn't win the ring.
Let's take it easy on that. Take it easy on that, because you're talking about a dynasty right there.
No, but I mean, like, yeah, like your Cavs, you have this incredible season where you're just playing gritty basketball the entire season.
Yep.
Huge wins against some of the big teams. It's not like they're like the Knicks that are never won against any of the top teams all season. They were beating the Celtics. They were beating, obviously our Lakers. Like they're an incredible team. So you show up and then you don't show up in the playoffs. I mean, losing Darius Garland is
Well, he played in Game 3 and he
did,
showed why.
Yeah.
The
So
two stars back, you have Mobley and Garden back, and then you see that they win a game.
and that
Well, yeah, if they're healthy, this team is winning the series. I mean, like, if they have their full roster, the Cavs are winning.
Okay, so I hear you guys saying so. Sylvain's taking the Cavs. Chew, you're taking the Cavs as well if healthy. John, where are you at? You think Pacers take it?
I'm really on the fence. I mean, I think if Haliburton shows up, like they just have this way of finding ways to win. But let me just back up for a second.
Sure.
The bigs that both teams have are so impressive to me. The way that Turner, those guys hit the three and still be big bodies down low. It's like that's the recipe for, and what I think that's the recipe of winning series is bigs that.
By the way, Turner is in every single trade rumor. Every team in the NBA thinks they're getting Turner next year. Including, I know the Lakers are.
Turner next season. Lakers are getting Turner next.
The Lakers are not getting Turner, dude.
I'll go with Pacers with the upset.
Okay.
Pacers with the upset in what? In 6 or 7?
7.
7. So you think Pacers are winning Game 7 in Cleveland?
Yeah. Haliburton hits the game.
A big game by Haliburton. I love it. I'd love to see it.
Okay, so the way I'm seeing this series, we got John taking the Pacers, and then Sylvain and Chew taking the Cavs. Okay.
Who do you got, Mark? Who do you got?
I mean, I think two healthy Cavs team. I got to give it to them. I think that move for DeAndre Hunter was a nice
very good move.
Nice push for a playoff run. Plus, they're deep. I mean, Dean Wade. I know Chew's a huge Dean Wade fan down there. I think Dean Wade, Sam Merrill. They have some. And Ty Jerome. Let's be real. Ty Jerome is kind of a clutch player. He's bounced around the league. I think they have a little more depth than the Pacers.
A lot more depth.
The Pacers they have McConnell, they have Shepherd, they have some guys off. They have Mathurin. I think Mathurin has a rising arc, but I don't think he's quite there yet. I just think, and with Jarrett Allen and Evan Mobley, I just think a healthy Cavs team should beat the Pacers, but the Pacers have proven their clutch. I'm not a huge fan of the celebration that Haliburton did. I'm not into that. I don't have I'm not like gonna make a big deal out of it, but I'm not a fan of that kind of stuff. But
Celtics
he did call his dad out.
Or Cavs.
So you switch Mitchell with Haliburton, which team improves?
Ooh.
Yeah, see, I think they're both a bit interchangeable.
Yeah.
No, the Pacers improve.
The Pacers improve. Let's hear it.
Yeah, why
Mitchell's
a bigger star right now?
Consistent.
Yeah, and he steps up in the playoffs, and he plays defense.
Well, so far this series, we've seen Haliburton stepping up. I think Haliburton has something to prove, but I also think the Cavs as an organization have something to prove post LeBron. They've never won a chip without LeBron. Can these kids do it? Are they the future of the NBA? Is OKC the future of the NBA? These rising stars right now.
Well, the thing about Donovan Mitchell, that's a good point too. I saw a stat. I was watching the game the other day. He's like one of 8 players who's ever averaged 28 plus in the playoffs. Which is, when it comes down to play, Mitchell is there. He's not afraid of the moment, and neither is Haliburton. So we're gonna see how the role players come out, and I think it's the Cavs' time. But
in what? In how many?
I mean, at this point, I mean, they have to win. I mean, they'd have to win. I would take him in 7. I think they need to win one more game.
Dave, your Cavs in what?
Cavs in 7.
Yeah. I mean, if we had to say it now, after
It could straight up be Cavs in 6 if they show their dominance like they had.
Haliburton's dad's going to be all over our podcast next.
oh my god,
What's up?
oh yeah,
Haliburton's dad's going to have a
Oh yeah.
with a banner like
If
this.
the Cavs
Yeah,
win,
but dude, Donovan Mitchell's dad played in the MLB.
Oh, really?
okay, I did not
Okay.
know that. What team?
That's a fun fact.
Yeah, Donovan Mitchell's dad can throw way faster fastball than Haliburton's dad.
To get them on the show.
Oh, yeah.
All
Take
right,
that to the bank, dude.
guys. So that's good. That's good. So that's good for the first series. Any closing remarks? Any burning remarks before we get into the next series on Knicks Celtics? Anything with that
I
series?
think we covered it.
All right, cool, boys. Sounds good. Now we're cruising. Segment 2. We're gonna stay in the Eastern semis with the Celtics and the Knicks. The Celtics are down 0-2 after giving up two 20-point leads to the Knicks. Game 3 is today. We're recording this on Saturday, May 10th, so it's coming up in about 3 hours. What are some questions here? You know, is Jalen Brunson the real deal? Is he better than Luka? Is playoff Brunson a thing? Are the Celtics going to be a dynasty? What's Tatum going to do? What's Brown going to do? What about the Porzingis cat matchup? John, we'll start with you again. What are we thinking on this series? Where does your mind go?
I mean, my mind immediately goes to the grit that the Knicks are showing on the road in Boston. Just that to me is like the most impressive, and it's kind of like taking the sails out of the Celtics. Their like aura, if you will, like that confidence that they've had all season. Because all season I paid attention to the Celtics, and they have always found a way to win in tough games. But against this Knicks team, Jalen Brunson, wow, incredible, incredible. Like he can have like not a good third quarter. They can be guarding him well in the fourth, and his team keeps him close. Mikal Bridges makes incredible defensive plays.
Yeah.
Jalen Brunson with the sweet kiss.
He's got
Just
that nice.
And so yeah, that's been a really fun series to watch. So, but I'm sure we'll get into more stuff. I'll let somebody else take
Yeah. Sure. So where does your mind go? I mean, what do you think about this series? Like who's gonna step up? Is it Jalen Brunson? Is Tatum gonna step up? Is Brown gonna step up? What are we gonna see in game 3? What's going on so far?
So I haven't watched a lot of Knicks really in the past couple of years. I just look at box scores, and Brunson is always just consistently impressing. But then when I saw that crossover he did on Asur Thompson for that game winner in the last round,
Tripped.
man, dude,
Yeah.
that was impressive because he stopped on a dime, like, and that's not Thompson is a freak, right? Like guy's one of the most athletic defenders in the NBA, and he sent him like it wasn't even close. And
That
I
was
was
a
like,
great
damn,
series. Yeah.
yeah, Brunson is more athletic than you like. You know, he's
He's a
sneaky
big
athletic.
guy.
He's like herky jerky. He can stop. He knows how to use the defender's momentum against them.
Exactly.
And yeah, he's just impressive. It's kind of annoying. Like he seems to flop a lot. Like he's always just doing like this like neck thing.
Yeah.
James Harden, the James Harden whiplash.
Brunson thing.
Who's doing that?
Brunson. People are saying
Brunson.
A lot of
he's
people
doing the shrugging and the
that.
neck stuff a lot. That's the whole negative order stuff you were talking about, John.
What? I mean, I don't get the guy is performing at the highest level, dude.
Yeah, no, he's impressive. He's impressive, and he's undersized,
And he's
a
consistent.
leader. He's a leader.
Yeah.
I'm rooting for them. I think Celtics in 7. They've been up 20 points in each game before this, and they let off the gas.
I think
this
Knicks
is,
are taking this. I think Knicks are taking this one. I'm excited for it. I mean, it's not easy to win in TD. And TD is not easy. Garden is going to be on fire. Those Knicks fans have not been deep in a playoffs in a long time. Those Knicks fans are hungry. The energy is going to be electric. As John said, right now it seems like Brunson is stepping up, showing that he can be the real deal when asked to be relied upon. Chu pointed out a specific skill set that he has that I completely agree with. And I'm taking the Knicks in this. I think they're going to go up 3-1, whether they win the next game today or one more in New York. And I don't think that Boston is going to be able to come back from that. When you look at Boston play this series, they had a great regular season, right? They were they a 60-win team? I forget. But they had a great regular season. In this playoffs, they seem a bit discombobulated. They're not always on the same page. Is Tatum stepping up? No, he has not, right? He had a great playoffs last year, but this year it seems a bit different. And so I'm taking the Knicks possibly in 6.
Wow. Okay.
What do you think, Mark?
Well, my thought is like when we're talking about Tatum, he's been shooting a lot of shots, and I think I saw a stat the other day where he's like 28.
Breaking them.
Yeah, he's breaking. He's like the second shooter in the NBA for 3-pointers. He's settling a lot for the three. I checked Sylvain. They did win 61 games, Boston, but they're not. I feel like they got to the top of the mountain and last year, and I think they're putting their foot off the gas, and they're not really
Yup.
in
They
gear
seem
yet.
kind of pissed at each other on the court sometimes, miscommunications, things like that.
Yeah, I do think they have to beat him. And what I think with it is Thibodeau, people make fun of his like rotations about the volume of minutes that he puts his players.
Or his face.
Yeah,
It's hilarious.
Yeah.
Go
But
ahead.
if you look at this team, if you look at this Knicks roster as it stands, they got Cat, which that was a monumental trade. And then they put pieces around. I mean, they had Hart there. Hart, Bridges, and OG Anunoby was a great trade. Those three players
Fantastic.
are two-way players that play defense and can score and can do a lot of things for your team. They're all these like big bodies. Like that's a really good starting five. And they got Juice McBride off the bench. I think that they have
McBride has been coming up big in the clutch too.
yeah, and McBride has been coming in kind of that popcorn off the
Defensively at the end of games.
So I think they have what it takes to beat this Celtics team. They still have to prove it. I still think Boston's still going to have something to show with, I think Derek White's going to come to play. I think even like Holiday, Horford, do they still do it? I don't know. I'm not going to count out the Celtics, until they beat them, until they get beat because they're the champs, and I'll give them that respect. But, obviously as a Laker fan, I kind of would rather root for the Knicks, but
so you're taking.
Let me drop. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I would think. I think that the Knicks will win this series. I do.
Wow.
I might be saying that more with my heart, but I think they're gonna win.
In how many?
And how much? 6?
They're up 2-0. I think they'll win it. They'll win in 6. I think they'll win. I think they'll split one. They'll split these in New York. Maybe they'll go back to Boston and then finish up in Game 6 at home.
They're not winning Game 5 in Boston.
So you got them in how many?
I got Knicks in 6.
I got Knicks
in 6.
What is it?
So, man, would you feel the same way?
They got a stacked team.
Would you feel the same way about Tatum if the Lakers drafted him instead of Lonzo Ball?
Oh my God.
That's a topic for this summer. We'll chat.
Yeah, that's
off-season topic.
Let me drop some stats on you guys real quick because this is crazy right now.
Yeah.
Okay, Jalen Brown is shooting 34%. Derek White 34%. Jason Tatum is shooting 28% from field goals, and from 3-point he's shooting 25%. And Jalen Brown is shooting 17% from the 3-point line.
What is it? They had the most missed.
You're not going to win like that.
They had the most missed threes in an NBA playoff game ever. I think that was that stat that I saw.
And then you got Jalen Brunson shooting 35% and 38% from 3, which isn't great. But Josh Hart shooting 58% from the field and 36% from 3.
Well, also,
Josh Hart is a winner, dude. Josh Hart is everything any NBA team would ever want.
Yeah,
he's the man.
Absolutely.
Former Laker.
Cat averaging 17.5 points. Kristaps averaging 4 points per game.
Yeah, what's up with that?
That's the series right there, dude. It's variance. It's health variance. Last year, the Celtics ran through the Eastern Conference Finals against very unhealthy teams. This year, there's something wrong with Porzingis. He has some sort of
he's been out
influenza
all season as well,
or something. And dude, you need the health variance to go your way, and this time it's going against them.
It goes to show you. There's a little bit of attrition there, but
Drew Holiday is shooting terrible from the 3, but
that's been all season though. Drew Holiday, he's a winner
on
defense, but that's it.
Yeah. Okay.
So
I'm I mean, it's a great series. And then Jason Tatum, look, you're not making a case for yourself when you're shooting these kind of numbers. But I do, like I saw just on a little bit on the emotional side, there was like this whole like montage of clips of Jason Tatum as a kid and
Yeah.
like him playing sports as a kid. And that always kind of like chokes me up. And I'm like, dude, he's, we're all kids playing games. And like, he just happened to be good at basketball and everybody's just really critical of him. But he did say all the different moments that he copied people of the things that he was saying after.
It's pretty interesting.
This is like, okay.
Wait, I didn't see that. So is it saying that he's like not authentic? Is that what it's getting at? He's just like a
Yeah, some people can make that argument, but he's just a product of everything that he grew up around and the things that he saw. And he saw KG winning and he saw Kobe winning. And it's like,
I kind of think of him as the modern day Grant Hill.
okay.
He's like a light-skinned dude from Duke, you know?
The modern day Grant Hill. Okay. I mean, I saw an interesting thing. I don't know if I agree with Nick Wright, one of the ESPN analysts, said that Tatum is the Kobe Bryant of Paul George's.
Yes.
Yeah, what does that even mean?
Like, yeah, like, okay, first of all,
What does that even mean?
Those are mental gymnastics right
yeah,
there.
like Kobe Bryant of Paul. Okay, so like I like Tatum. I like the way he carries himself. I like the
Yeah.
way I like him as an NBA player. I like his game. I like Jalen Brown too. I really like this as a Lakers fan. It's hard to say it. I know my Laker fans will be like, what's going on here? But Jalen Brown and Tatum are Kobe guys. They love
Yeah.
Kobe. And
Yeah.
and I love Kobe. And the Lakers passed on both. I mean, summer topic, but like in this series, let's see if you can't count out the champs until they're done. That's what I would say.
John, who you got? Knicks or Celtics?
I have the Knicks in 6.
So
Knicks
all
and
of us
six.
have Knicks. Oh, no,
David?
All the Laker fans are not letting their bias get involved at all.
David's got Celtics in 7.
all right,
Celtics and
please.
7?
Celtics in 7, baby.
Well,
Why do you think Celtics and 7?
yeah.
Right.
Okay,
What's
so
that?
here,
Why do you think Celtics and 7, and how are they going to do it? Which game? Are they taking both at the Garden, or what are they doing?
I don't know how they're gonna do it, but that team is just built. It's like, dude, if Porzingis can't get right, then it's a different story. But like, I don't
Even
know.
if
I love Drew
Porzingis had
Holiday.
a,
I love Derek
even if
White.
Porzingis has
You
a
would
big game,
ideally you would think those two would be like the perfect players to guard Brunson, right? Like
yeah.
they were built. Like Drew Holiday was built to guard Jalen
Brunson.
Brunson.
Yeah.
Drew Holiday's lost a step this
Yeah,
season.
he has. He really has. All right, guys, we got to get moving. That was a great segment. Okay, we want to keep this show on the road. We want to
Yeah.
get it moving. So we finish up the East Coast. Now we're gonna go into the West Coast. Let's start with the Timberwolves Warriors series, which is tied 1-1. Right?
Yep.
We have game 3 tonight. Obviously, the losing of Steph has really put a kind of a damper on the series and what's going on. We have the resurgence of Julius Randle playing well along of Anthony Edwards. The lure of Ant, as we discussed. Also, what's going on with Draymond? Is playoff Jimmy going to be able to do something without Steph? What about the other role players? There's a lot of question marks in this series. John, let's start with you. Where do you think the series is going? What do you think about it?
I think for me, for the series, what I've really been paying attention to is Anthony Edwards because of what he did to my Lakers last series. And, he didn't – I think the Timberwolves last series really dominated the Lakers in the front court because of the Naz Reeds, the Julius Randles, like Austin Reeves guarding Julius Randle on the wing is going to obviously take his legs on the offensive end. He's not going to have the juice, like everybody's just blowing by Luka. It's like an open door. So but Anthony Edwards still had some good series. He still has that aura. He still took out Kevin Durant in the play-in, or he took out Luka and Braun in last series. Is he going to take out Steph Curry in this series and build that kind of historic run? And I think losing Curry for the Warriors, it kind of diminishes that for him. It's almost like, when Achilles, was it Achilles in the movie, what was it? Troy.
Yeah.
Achilles doesn't want, he needs to fight the best, the son of the king, of the emperor, whatever, it's like, you're not going to take a battle like that. And what can he do? He can't help it. But I just think The
You're
series
saying
really.
he won't play as well because Curry's out, or what are you
No,
saying?
I'm just saying that the
He
series
needs
has
that
lost.
fire.
It's lost its allure a little bit, and maybe
Okay.
if the Timberwolves do advance, like it's kind of like, well, you didn't really beat the
Well,
Warriors.
that's the health. What is it? Health variance? Is that what you were saying, Chu? That you were
Yeah,
discussing?
and so go ahead, Chu, because you're the one that brought this next part up.
Yeah, well, it's just yeah, this thing is over. This is T. Wilson 6. Playoff Jimmy's going to get him a game.
Okay.
And the one advantage that they had against that the Warriors had against the Wolves was Curry could take Gobert out to the 3-point line and just abuse him. And without Curry, I mean, it's fucking over. It's over. This is like
Yeah.
the the Warriors run off of everything that Curry does. He demands so much gravity, and he
What
amplifies every
happened in
single
game
player
one?
that he touches.
What happened in game one?
He's like Jokic. Like anyone that plays with Curry becomes better.
Yeah.
And without Curry, it's over.
Yeah.
So I disagree in the sense that you took a look at, first of all, let's rewind to the trade when Jimmy Butler came. That team's attitude changed completely.
Right.
Draymond got more intense. Everybody on the team got locked in. What does Jimmy bring? He brings leadership. Can you build an entire offense around him? That's debatable. But what did we see game one? We saw Curry go down early on. They were in Minnesota. What happened? The rest of that team stepped up. Power in numbers. The Warriors always next man up, right? Does that mean they can beat the Wolves?
Okay.
I love the Wolves. I love the intensity of Ant. I think he's got something to prove. He plays with a chip on his shoulder. I love his intensity. I love players that are two-way players that say, "Hey, I'm gonna score. I'm gonna destroy you on offense, and I'm gonna take down your best player on defense." Rest in peace, Kobe Bryant. That's my boy. That's the intensity I love to see. Right? Can the Warriors come back? Given that the Warriors can play without Curry, I do think so. I don't think this series is over.
Wow.
Do I think is there a scenario where they can win another game or maybe even two without Curry? I'm not sure. But let's say they win one, then the series is tied 2-2. That's still a series. Let's say Curry comes back game 6 and 7. If Curry comes back game 6 and 7, they're taking those games. They can win in Minnesota. They can win game 7s on the road. They just did that against the Rockets.
You got to
So,
come
I mean,
back.
do you think Jimmy Butler's a leader because he just abandoned his team and forced a trade out of Miami? That's not what leaders do.
I hear you. That's why I said, can he be a leader on this Warriors team, right? Playoff Jimmy is a real thing. I wasn't actually a fan of Jimmy until he came to the Warriors. I feel like his attitude shifted a lot. Yeah, this whole era of player entitlement, they want to move around the league and have everything done their way. It wasn't a good fit at the end of the day. You don't want a star player being unhappy with his team and where he is, the coaching system, etc.
As the resident
to the
Frenchman,
Warriors and that entire Warriors, they went from a 10 seed, barely even scratching the play-in, to beating the 2nd seed. And how they do it with the intensity on defense.
Buddy Hield dropping 9 threes in a game.
That too. Buddy Hield's a huge factor.
Buddy Hield's got to show.
What's as the French guy in the pod? What's your honest assessment of Gobert?
Gobert is horrible, atrocious. He's
just tall.
I don't know.
He's just tall.
He's a winner.
Oh, don't go there. Don't go there.
But
so what do you have?
Gobert can barely make a layup. He looks like he's playing volleyball out there. Yeah, he'll swat at a ball or whatever, but you see him get exposed repeatedly, like by guards when he comes out, right? And you can say, okay, you need a different defensive scheme. You need a switch or whatever. Sure, but they're not doing it. So it keeps getting repeated where he gets beat. And then down low, for how big he is, he's not the monster you think. That guy should be fucking slamming on everybody as if he's Shaquille O'Neal. And he's bricking gimme layups. He had a great game against the Lakers where there was 0 center. Yeah, of course, he's just tall. He can fucking score buckets. That's it.
Who do you have in the series?
Me?
Yeah.
If the Warriors can somehow take another game and extend the lead to 6 or 7, and if there's no Steph Curry in game 6 or 7, or even a game 7 without Steph, no chance, right? Because you need Steph to hit those big shots. You need Steph to keep that defense on their toes, right? But if they somehow find a way to extend this, they have the game 4. They have the next game in the Bay.
Well, game three is today. The game.
Sorry, game 3. They have game 3 and 4. Where is that? Right now, the series is tied 1-1. It's not like the Wolves are up 4-0 or 3-1. The series is tied 1-1. If the Warriors can win one of the 2 games in the Bay, that means what? Series is tied 2-2. They drop game 5, let's say. Does Curry come back for game 6? Does Curry come back for game 7? Keep in mind, game 6 is in the Bay. Even if he's not there,
it sounds like you got the Warriors.
Sounds like you're trying to convince
sounds like you got the Warriors.
The Warriors over here.
I'm saying if Curry comes back and if they win at least one game, I can see this going to 6 or 7.
So
7 games. And if Steph is back for that 7th game, I'm taking the Warriors in Minnesota.
Okay, so you got the Warriors. Let's just
if Steph comes back.
Okay, obviously. If we're all Mark, go ahead. What's your take?
I just think the Timberwolves have too much. They have too much momentum. I think they're playing too well. Naz Reid, Nickeil Alexander off the bench is a great spark.
What about Ant going 0 for 11?
I mean, and they still won. You know, like they're a great defensive team. Mike Conley has some great leadership, great presence out there. DiVincenzo is good. I think, I think they're playing well. And I do think that the Warriors have a lot of depth. You know, Podziemski, Moses Moody. They got some talent over there. I just think right now the Wolves are a more complete team, and obviously the Steph factor. So I would go with the Timberwolves. I mean, I think they'll win today. Maybe Jimmy and Draymond have something to prove, and I think this is one of the biggest legacy turning series and one of the biggest legacy turning games. We saw Lakers are out, and I think the NBA is ready to kind of grow a little bit more, and I really feel bad for Steph because he's in the limelight of his career, and and this goes back to what John was saying. If Ant was going to win, if the Timberwolves are going to win, I'd want to see it against healthy teams, but we're not getting that. And without that, I just think the Timberwolves are probably, maybe the Timberwolves in what game they'll win in, I don't know if they'll win in 5. I don't think they'll run the table, but yeah, maybe they will, so
you got the Wolves in what, 6?
I got the Wolves in 6. Well, it's 1-1 now.
They're winning 1 at Oracle.
They're winning 1 at Oracle.
Winning game 6 at Oracle.
Yeah, they'll win. Yeah, I mean, I think that I don't know. I think like we talked about in the NBA right now, home court advantage hasn't really meant much this whole playoff series. So I just don't see it. Even if well, look, I saw a stat that it said, well, Curry has never had a hamstring injury in his career like this. So depending on when he comes back, is he going to come back ready to play, or is he going to come back as a decoy?
If Curry comes back game 6. Yeah. And it's an Oracle, who's winning that game?
If it's a healthy Steph, like a 90% Steph, I would give him. I don't know. I'm not gonna make predictions on if he comes back or not. All I know is that he's not playing, and then I don't think he's gonna.
He's supposedly out 1 week.
Yeah, so that's 3 games, right?
He's a 37-year-old guard that relies on speed, and he runs around.
Yeah,
if he comes back, he's gonna be. Did you guys see how the other Thompson twin guarded that guy in the series before?
Yeah.
Dude, I've never seen someone guard Curry so well.
Amen.
Played him great.
Thompson, yeah. All right. So do we get everyone on this one on the series?
Yeah, we got the series.
Okay. That was a big series, but look, we're running late on time, guys, but it's all good. We got a lot to say. We're gonna move into the last and maybe the most exciting series in a lot of ways. One of the Thunder versus the Nuggets. It's game 3 happened last night. The Nuggets came back at home and won in overtime after being down the whole game. There was that game winner from Gordon in game 1 in OKC, and then there was the debacle in game 2 where the OKC put the stamp on it. This series seems like the biggest experience versus young and the future of the NBA. There's a lot going on. That's why I think about it as.
So I'd like to jump in on that.
Yeah, go for it. What do you got?
I was telling Mark last night pregame, we were chatting, and what we have with OKC is a historical season. It's very impressive. Absolutely. They've been smashing on teams by the win margin is the best we've seen in NBA history, which is very impressive. That to me is a sign of a young and healthy team throughout the season where, people are load managing, taking days off. The teams, Also, what's interesting to point out is OKC is 500 on the season against the remaining teams, right? And so my question to Mark was, okay, if the game is on the line in the playoffs, right? If you're down 5 or up 5 within the last 5 minutes of the game, how are you going to perform? How's your team going to step up? Who's going to hit the big shots? Is someone going to take them? Are they going to make them? Who's going to take them? Well, we saw last night. Did they make them? No, right? And on the other hand, who took the big shots and who made the big shots? Yes, those went through the net. The defense was there on both ends, right? But one team prevailed, and that shows the experience and resilience of the Nuggets, the championship experience. And then that also shows a young team that has not, because the defense tightens up at the end of close games. Yeah, they win big games, right? They win games by 15 plus. That's different than winning a 5-point game, right? And they didn't close out, and we have yet to see that from this OKC team. Can you close out a close game against a great team?
Yeah, absolutely.
I know Chu's gonna have a lot to say, so I'll keep mine short.
Dude, where are you at? I mean,
I think playoff Murray is one of the most effective players I have seen since I don't even maybe the Kobe Jordan. The way that he just gets his shots at the ends of the games when it matters.
The reverse. Did you see the reverse that he did?
It's just like just give him the ball. Nobody else touched the ball, and
he's got the mid range. He's got everything.
And I think Adelman was a necessary. That's a huge topic for them. Like, you're going to really let go of Mike Malone weeks before the end of the season, and Adelman steps right in and just has poise, and he has the clout with the players, and they're responding well to him. So I think that's really impressive. Joker looked tired, and nobody ever talks about this, but the guy looks out of shape. Like, what? How do you?
Yeah, he plays half a game.
On the defense, dude. What the hell? Imagine if he's built and he's in shape. He'd be incredible. But whatever, that's it. And then last point I think I had on the series was what was it? Have the Nuggets unlocked Westbrook?
Yes, dude.
The biggest question of all, right?
He still has his bonehead plays where he loses the ball randomly, and you're just like, wait, what? You just got the sick rebound. How did you lose the ball like that? But right. I saw him get the ball late in the game and then pull back and give it to Murray, which is wow, thank you, Westbrook. But
yeah,
anyway, those are my takes on it.
And I have
Nugs in 6.
You got Nugs?
Yeah.
Wow. Nothing is more demoralizing than a Westbrook 3 for the other team. It might as well be 10 points.
Hot take.
He did hit a big 3 in the game last night.
Yes.
Yeah, dude. When he was on the Clippers, he was just clanking them all up every single shot he took, and then he goes on the Nuggets and he becomes we'll have to find what the Westbrook 3-point percentage in the playoffs is, but it feels like he's making a pretty good amount.
Oh, look.
Let's hit the brakes here. Have they unlocked them? I'm not seeing too much of a difference, and the sample size is quite small. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's a small sample size, but dude, that might be Jokic's greatest accomplishment. If he gets Westbrook a ring,
yeah,
that ring that'd be incredible. No team,
as I said,
there wasn't one team besides the Nuggets that was going to sign that guy. He was out of the league. If it wasn't for the Nuggets, he would be in Taiwan.
So at the end of last night's game, who was on the floor?
Well, yeah, they got him off, but he's played some late game. He's
still a liability.
He's played in some
Who
late
made
game
the pass? Who made the pass? The hockey assist. So it was the pass before the pass to the Gordon game winner.
Congratulations.
Westbrook got the loose ball. Threw it to Christian Brown.
If we're talking a former MVP getting credit for a hockey assist.
Also in game 1, he passed it up. Okay. Also too, remember that OKC was where Russ was his elite prime player. This is a very emotional and loaded series for him. And it's a big part of his legacy. If he can come back and be impactful, to what extent? Sure, right? Okay, he dribbled in the game, fine, but maybe he's not getting the minutes. But when he's there, is he going to be effective? I mean, I do like Russ's story, and that was a good pass in game 1 for Aaron Gordon for the game winner. So I mean, that was something else, right? This series is all over the place. MPG with the shoulder thing, and and then like they all had 20 points yesterday. And Michael Porter Jr., Murray, and Gordon all had 20. And we always talk about, I know that all of us talk quite a bit about how Jokic has no help or whatever, or like what's surrounding him. He's doing all of it by himself. And I think a lot of that narrative does hold. But yesterday was very much counter to that, where you saw a team, a championship pedigree team come out and show them why that like they're not going to be an easy out. Doesn't matter what OKC did in the regular season, no matter how many people pick them and stuff like that. This is the playoffs, and experience counts for something. And OKC got bounced last year because they didn't have any size. They went out and got Hartenstein, to pair with Chet, and to build up. And they have a lot of great wing defenders. They have a lot of talent, right? They got Caruso in to bolster their wing defense, and they're there. But that's why I started this question with it's this. Is it the experience versus the youth? Which one wins out? And for me, after watching last night's game, before last night, like, I mean, it's all retrospect. It's all, hindsight's always 2020. If tomorrow what these takes are might be different based on the games. But I think that with the way Nuggets won the game yesterday, it's very demoralizing for OKC. And I think Nuggets are going to take this series.
In how many?
I do. I think Nuggets will take this series.
In how many?
I will say, well, if they're up 2-1 now, I'll say in 7. I'll say it'll go to 7. They'll win in OKC. Lock in that Westbrook legacy game. I still think the Thunder are gonna have something to play for. Of course, they're not gonna go out without a fight. I just think when it comes down to it, I think you're gonna see some Jokic magic. Possible GOAT summer conversation. But yeah, but that's what I think. I think Nuggets will win this series.
Quick stat. Aaron Gordon shooting 60% from the three. Russell Westbrook shooting 46% from the field. Jamal Murray going 41% from three, 43%.
What's Westbrook's threes?
Westbrook's threes are 23%.
Yeah, but he takes
he made one important one.
Yeah, 3-point attempts. He's averaging 4.
Yeah,
making 1.
Was that for the series or for the playoffs?
For the series. Nikola is shooting 20% from the 3, 41% from the field.
we're also talking a 2-game sample size. So
Yeah. 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, this is an exciting series. I mean, there's so many different narratives.
Michael Porter Jr.
Yeah,
really believed the narrative for a little bit that he was fixing some games the way that he was moving out there in the last series. I could not believe it. I'm like, what? The guy is like literally limping around. Why is he even out there? And he was just like taking lackadaisical shots. I was just like,
if he plays like he did last night, they're going to win the series.
that was big time.
yeah, I agree.
This series is super like emotional for me because these are my 3 favorite teams are the Clippers, the Thunder, and the Nuggets. And I just went from a series where I was rooting against the Nuggets to now rooting for them. And it's the weirdest thing when that happens because you're just like, fucking Christian Brown. And then he does something good and you're like, I love this guy,
Yeah.
But do you know how many, as a Clipper fan, we drafted Shea,
Oh
and
yeah,
we could have drafted MPJ, but we drafted Jerome Robinson instead, who's
okay.
like hasn't played in the league since like
Oh, he's out of the league.
2021. And then we have a few draft picks running around. Jalen Williams, the all-star on the good Jalen Williams, that was a Clippers draft pick. So this is just like, yeah, it's emotional for me. It sucks because I'm like, this could be my team. I woke up this morning and I was just amping. I looked over at Nicole and she was amping as well. She's like, I can't sleep. That game was so incredible. That was one of the best. That was the game of the playoffs for sure. It was awesome.
Last night.
And yeah, Murray's reverse layup off the side where he twisted against an outreached Chet
Yeah.
was one of the best layups I've ever seen, dude. He just kissed off the glass. That guy is so good. If he's gonna play like that, then yeah, I think I'm going Nuggets in 7.
I got Nuggets.
Nuggets in 7. I think what's gonna happen is the Thunder are gonna win the next game, and then they have to beat Jokic 2 out of 3 games, which I don't know. They're defending him well. I think he missed a lot of open shots. They're crowding the paint so well. They've got so many good defenders. Even like Cason Wallace
Yeah,
seems to always be like
Yep.
super aggressive. Avery Bradley-esque. He's like Avery Bradley with a 3-point shot.
There you go.
He's like really handsy and he's always getting into the mix. And Caruso's is great. Hartenstein has hit that floater he has, like he was shooting it from the baseline in overtime and just like breaking them. But
Yeah.
when he shoots them from like beneath the free throw line is basically automatic. And I'm like, they should just go back to him every possession because he's gonna have that shot wide open. It's that little push shot.
He's a great.
Um,
The one he missed at
but
the
yeah,
last
yeah,
game.
don't count on Jokic to have
Yeah.
another bad game and like that.
With a
Not
game
happening.
like that, with Jokic having a game like that, you got to win that game because it's
Yeah.
like it's a gift for him to play that poorly, to be that inefficient, as it were.
Every shot was short though. He's exhausted, so you never know. He could just be like,
Out of shape.
tired.
Yeah.
Bill, who did you have again in the series?
Who do I have?
Yeah.
I think based off what I saw yesterday, which was my biggest question on OKC, they showed their inexperience, and I think the Nuggets are a championship caliber team, right? So I'm taking Nuggets in 6.
In 6?
Yeah, because the way I look at it is I don't think OKC can win a close game against them. If
Nope.
they blow them out, yeah, they might blow them out one more game, right? But so if they win their next game, cool, that's game 2. I don't think it's going to be repeated another blowout and another blowout and another blowout. And if it's a tight game, I'm taking Denver 10 out of 10, right? And so that means what? You shift the series back to OKC for a game, maybe they take that game. I don't think OKC is taking both game 4 and 5. I don't see it, right? So if the Nuggets take one of those 2 games, then they're up what? All right, they're up 3-2. And then you have the game in Denver. I think that's where the series ends.
Mm-hmm.
It's an early afternoon game on Sunday too. Who does that? Who do you guys think that benefits?
Really,
It's a 1:30 start time.
Denver.
I don't know. I think the younger Thunder.
Yeah, but you're also in Denver.
They got to wake up.
Are you going to go to the game?
No, but dude, Ball Arena was popping last night. Oh my God, it looked fun. It's Mother's Day, so I gotta,
Oh, that's
do
right.
that stuff.
Yeah, big love to all the mothers out
Yeah,
there.
big love to all the
Shout
moms.
out, mom. Shout out, mom.
Yeah.
Shout out,
Mom took me to my first Laker game when I was
Wow.
8 years old or something.
That-
Was it at the Forum Sylvain?
Lakers versus Utah, and Shaq hit the game winner.
Best segment ending here. Nice. All right, boys. So I guess that's good. We could probably talk forever, but let's wrap this up. So this has been the inaugural podcast of the Great Western Podcast. We're going to try to be here more for you guys and kind of produce some more fun content. And we're having fun. Any last remarks from you guys?
No.
We're good. All right, boys.
Great.
So we'll catch you next time. Okay. All right. Peace.
No.
No.